Good to have you with us on the Roy Green Show on the Corus Radio Network. Canada 2, United States 1 in the second period of the gold medal hockey game. Now, we've talked a lot about the Olympics on this program over the last several weekends as the games have progressed, and I thought today that I'd like to do something a little bit different, and it actually came about this way. We have a panel, as you know, of Canadians we like to go to for their thoughts and opinions at election time. So my thought was that I would ask them to just give us their thoughts about the gold medal game. Then I had some trouble getting through to some of the folks who were on the panel. I did speak to Robert in Vancouver, who's one of the great contributors to this program, constantly sending me interesting information. And we kind of switched from the idea of talking about the hockey game to talking about volunteering at the Olympic Games, because Robert told me that that is what he was doing. And I thought, what a great idea it would be, a great opportunity it would be for us to talk to people who've taken of their own time and their own volition and their own passion for the Olympic Games, and they're caring for their community, to talk to them about their experience at these particular Olympic Games. So Robert is with us. Hey, Robert.
Hi, Roy. How are you?
Doing great. And you just sent me a photograph of where you are. Man, that is paradise.
Yeah, I'm just overlooking Cole Harbour, and it's not raining today, and Vancouver looks gorgeous.
Wonderful. Maxine is with us as well. She's also a volunteer at the Olympic Games. Hi, Maxine.
Hi, how are you?
And just great. And you?
I'm doing just wonderful.
Excellent. And Angela, we were talking before we went on the air, another volunteer. You're still on an emotional high from all of the experiences.
Oh, absolutely, Roy. I'm loving every single second of it.
All right. Look, you gave me an idea in an email, each of you, about how it was for you to become volunteers and why you've done it. I don't want to read the emails. I want you to tell our listeners across Canada about what motivated you to do what you were doing and where you wound up and what you did as volunteers at the Olympic Games. And Angela, let me start with you.
Okay, well, when they offered volunteers to come forward and apply in the very beginning, 6-7 years ago, I was right on there, very beginning, and put my application in immediately. Didn't really hear anything, and then actually on January 22nd, I got a phone call saying that they were in need of some more drivers. I had actually given up and didn't think I was going to get a position, but really excited when I got the call. I spoke to my children. They were all excited, so I took the position, and within a week I worked my first shift.
So you were driving people around Vancouver for the duration of the games?
From January 29th, and my last shift will be tomorrow. So it's pretty much a month. Okay,
give us an idea who's been in the car with you.
Oh, I've had several people. My very first drive was the president of the IOC from Kazakhstan, which was very interesting. I've had some athletes. I had a German lead from the curling team. I've had lots of IOC members. I had a lawyer from the anti-doping. I had Sebastian Coe's assistant. Very interesting people.
So how did the conversations go when you were in the car? What do you guys talk about?
What do we talk about? Lots of questions about the city, and it's not raining here. We heard that it rained a lot, and, we've had such beautiful weather that it was really hard to convince people it actually does rain right now, but, you guys brought the sun. It was great. They wanted to know where things were, and actually Robert came up with an idea for me to make some business cards, which I did, and I gave them out to all the people that I was driving and got tons of emails from people asking for all sorts of directions and information and that kind of thing. So that was really, really cool to actually get to talk to them again via email after I drove them around.
And you do this because you care about your community and you do it as volunteers. This is what makes it so special. Maxine, your story. How'd you get into it? Where were you? What were you doing?
Well, I actually, when Vancouver first got the bid in 2003, I had made a vow that I would be a volunteer. I had my first meeting and interview and in August of 2008, and then along in December, I believe it was, I got a message from Bannock asking if I wanted to be a ticket seller at the curling venue for the World Wheelchair that was coming up in February 2009, and then again for the Junior Worlds in March. And it didn't take me long to hit that button and say yes. It was very interesting, very exciting. It was amazing to watch the wheelchair curling. I found that it was the first time I had ever seen it. Got to speak to a lot of the coaches from all over the world, a lot of the players, their stories on how they, became involved with wheelchair curling, and basically that the sport had saved their lives. It gave them a goal. It gave their life meaning, and it was just so awesome. And then back in November, I got an offer to work back again at the curling venue, and there I was for the whole duration.
And let's never accuse curling fans of being party animals.
Oh no.
No, they're very refined and very quiet and very cautious people, aren't they?
Yes, actually,
Yes.
you could tell the difference in the crowds throughout the week, because the difference in Olympic, crowds and curling fans are totally different.
Yeah.
They
have a lot of fun.
Fans, yes.
They have a lot of fun. Did you get to speak with any of the curlers?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I got to speak to. In 1998, curling was the first official entry for curling, and Mike Harris from Ontario was representing the men, and the late Sandra Schmerler was representing the ladies, and she won gold, and Mike won silver, and I believe it was last Monday night, Mike came through the media access where I was working that night, and he had the fortunate for us, unfortunate for him, because when I scanned his accreditation, it was a random choice that he had to have his bags checked.
Oh.
And, so anyway, they went through the scanner just like you do at the airport, and the girl said, I have to check your bag.
Uh-oh.
And,
are you telling us something we should know?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
everybody knows how it goes.
Okay, all right.
So
I just want to make sure that we're not getting too personal here.
Yeah, no, he asked her, he said, oh, is it something round? And, she opened up a zipper and out popped a silver medal.
Oh, no
that
kidding.
he had won, and it was just awesome because everybody that was in the tent, all the security, the RCMP that were there, everybody, he let everybody touch it, read it, hold it. It was just amazing.
What a great story. See, if you didn't volunteer, you'd never have these experiences, and then we'd never hear them, but just the fact that you've experienced all of this is so terrific. I've got some more questions for you. Let's go to Robert. And Robert, how did volunteering at the Olympics become, something that you wound up doing, and where did you wind up?
Well, Roy, I will admit, I originally was not as enthusiastic as Angela and Maxine. And may I just interject for a second? These two ladies you've been speaking to, they're much, much, much too modest. Roy, I've essentially adopted them both into my family as my sister and aunt, respectively. One thing they have in common is they're very feisty. What they didn't tell you was they've been standing out in the cold. They've been having to go to shifts at, 5, 6 in the morning. Of course, they're not going to mention that because they're very selfless individuals. But for me, I was sort of ambivalent. I was never against the Olympics. I was sort of ambivalent about it. But I said, you know what? It's coming to my home community, and I threw my name into the ring last February, and then I was accepted last July. Actually, I volunteered at a Hockey Canada Cup, a women's hockey tournament last September, and then worked here now. The most surprising thing for me, I think, Roy, about the Olympics is I knew all along, obviously, that this was Vancouver's Olympics, right? But the most surprising thing for me was that about a week, maybe 2 weeks before it all started, and I started watching that torch relay live on CTV, and then on the TV, on the website, and I saw that this torch was just bringing the country together. And what I've been telling everybody is, everyone's been coming around and saying, "Oh, you volunteers are incredible. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job here in Vancouver." And what I always say to them is, you know what? This is Canada's Games. This is Canada's Games that just happens to be in Vancouver and in Whistler. Angela, for example, is originally from Manitoba. Maxine's originally from Alberta. I've met dozens and dozens of volunteers from all over the country, from all over the world, for that matter. And we've just all pulled together as an incredible team. And as the saying of the Olympics goes, I believe.